Modern men and women are expecting different relationship contracts. But what happens when our expectations collide with reality? Let's talk about it.
I always start bobbing when I hear the music.
The question isn't whether we can have both. The question is, what are we willing to give to get it? It is Hot Topic Tuesday. And last week we asked, can we have both? Tonight we're taking that conversation deeper. In this episode, we're unpacking some of the biggest tensions in modern dating and marriage, exploring where those expectations come from, and asking what fairness, partnership, and responsibility really look like today. Good evening. Welcome to Live, Love, and Marry Wizerr. I'm your host, Lorraine Edwards. We have seen so many relationships go over the edge that we have committed our voices to building better fences at the cliff. So we need fewer ambulances in the valley. And with me tonight, to bring some fence building wisdom is my co host, Onita Price All. How are you, Onita?
Hey, Lo, I am doing good. I'm so happy for us to be here tonight and live, and can't wait to see what folks are saying in the comments later. How are you
Yes,
today?
I am doing well. Thank you. Um, as many have probably noticed at this point, I took my locks out about a week and a half ago. Yeah, and I mean, it took a while. It took like 3 days, 20 hours, and so now I'm on this hair journey trying to figure it out. Because I have typically my hair is just cut short or I have locks. Like those are really the two things that have been most prevalent in my life. So I'm not going to talk about any men today. So I'm going to tell you about my hair. So
This is the lowdown.
this is the lowdown. I'm on that journey, and I went to get my hair cut at a place that is not necessarily tend to our type of hair. And
Mm-hmm.
so then I switched to go back to the person that used to cut my hair when it's low. And then he said he could do it, but then that didn't really turn out so great. so I am still, I'm like, do I go back to these people? Do I just cut it myself? Which I have cut a little bit of it myself, but I'm getting happier with it, but I'm just like on
Yeah.
the journey, us sisters, we're on the journey, but I don't know if you live in Gainesville and you got a great hairstylist, then, let hit hook.
Yes.
Um,
And it
how are
looks
you?
cute.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. How was Father's Day? How is all of that?
It was good. So my hubby had to fly away for business. So we celebrated him on Friday. And I was so glad he wanted to go out to eat because I didn't have to cook. But I did prep. I had already had the chicken marinated because chicken parmesan is one of his favorite meals. He can eat
Hmm.
Italian every day. And he decided, oh, let's go out to eat. And I was like, hey, hey.
Hey,
Yeah. And
Taylor.
then, yes. And then all the kids gave him, well, of some of the gifts, but everybody put $21 in his card to signify 21 years of being a father, and he found that to be cute.
Oh, that's
And
cool. That's
but he,
cool.
I mean, being the dad that he is, he gave everybody back their money.
I love him. I love him.
He gave everybody back their
We
money. He's
need,
like,
we
it's
need, see, we need some more victors up in this where we talking about today. We need some more victors up here
yes, okay. He
because
was like,
a
here,
lot of
y'all,
the men would have kept that money.
okay, because I thought, hey, this will be a nice, couple of rounds of golf for him, or he can, have some pocket money, while he's traveling. He's like, here you go, guys, take your money back. It's warm outside. The ice cream truck may come by. Y'all gonna want that money.
Hey, Sydney.
Yeah,
Taylor says he's the best dad. Yep.
he is. He is. So, but we were glad to be able to celebrate him and, just tell him how much we appreciate him because he doesn't hear it. I don't think as often as he probably should, and just for the sacrifices that he's making, for our family. Even like I said with the travel, I joked with him because he had to get on. I said you were doing the movie Plane, Trains, and Automobile because I had to drive him to the train station. He took the train to get to the plane, then an Uber to the hotel. I said you did it all in one day, and,
Hilarious. I
and
love
we
that.
appreciate
That
you.
was a
But
fun
yeah,
movie too.
yeah, it really was. And so, but yeah, but it was good. Again, the kids were still getting back last week, a little jet lag from that LA schedule. But I was
Mhm.
like, let's get it together now. So let's burn a lot more energy during the day so we can go to sleep on time at night.
I love that.
Yeah. So, but it's been good.
Um,
Yes.
and at least two of them are in the chat right now. So appreciate you all so much.
Yes.
We always have the halls supporting. If you are also joining with us, then please let us know. Tell us, say hi, something. Let us know you're here. Okay,
Yes.
so we're ready to jump back in. Hot Topic Tuesday. So we're live, and we were going to, typically we ask questions. Well, we did that last week. We went to the red pill community one of their Reddit chats or whatever, and I got some questions or some issues that they have with women,
Hmm.
and I was like, let's talk about these things. And so there's number three. Avery's in the house too. um and so we didn't finish last week, so we were just like, let's let this be our hot topic for this week. And
Yeah.
there's different topics. We have about 5 questions. We'll see if we can get to all of them. But we're going to start with the one that Onita answered on the last episode. But we were running out of time. So I said I would answer it on this episode. And so we are going to dive into that. And so the question is, where should equality end and complementary roles begin? Let me give you all some context for that. Uh, in that community were saying that women want equality when it's convenient.
Mm.
They don't want it when it's inconvenient. So the complaints examples were like equal pay, but expecting men to pay for the dates, equal leadership, but expecting men to protect, independence, but expecting provision. And so that's why they asked the question. We asked the question, where should equality end and complementary roles begin? So here is my answer to that. Because I would be one who is probably of this mindset. And we don't want it to feel like anybody's trying to take advantage of anybody. But hey, Christine, how are you, my friend? I just prayed for you. Actually, I pray for you pretty much every day, but I just pray for you today and your family. I hope you are well. Onita, that's our Christine.
Hey, Christine.
um, I mean, we don't own her, but you know what I'm saying. We love her.
Yes.
Here's my answer to this. I think that when we talk about complementary roles, if we talk about it in a healthy way, it is maybe that the husband is working, the wife is at home, she's taking care of the house, basically what you do.
Mhm.
You work out of the home as well. And see, this is where, and I'm going to bring that up, but this is where it can get off track.
Yeah.
Complementary perspective, you're doing this, I'm doing that. I'm primarily the homemaker, and I'm primarily the caregiver for the children because I'm home. I can take them to school, I'm bring them home, the homework, all of these things because you're at work, doing the thing,
Hmm.
earning the income, all of that. And and so you do things like maybe you take the trash out and you get the cars, taken care of. That's kind of quote unquote the man roles, even though
Right.
you're single, you got to do all that stuff yourself. But we're in marriage, and the husband is like, oh, I'll do that. And I actually prefer that because, first of all, I don't want to do it. But secondly, it is research has shown that mechanics charge more when it's a woman than when it's not.
Yep.
That's just true. And most men, a lot of men know more about cars. They know what things should cost, and they're able to do things. So that's fine. I do, what might typically be considered the women's things. Like, of course I cook and I clean most of the time and all of those types of things. And that sounds great to most men, except the part where you stay home and I work. And this is where the problem comes in for me. It's so
Mhm.
a lot of men now, they want their wives to work. Okay. And then they want them to also be the primary homemaker, be the
Mhm.
primary caregiver, do all of those things that were I not working, I would have time to do, I would have energy to do, and it makes sense that I should do because I'm home most of the day.
Yeah.
And so the reason that we want equality is that you're expecting responsibilities that in the traditional home she didn't have. June Cleaver was not working outside the home. She was working
Right.
inside the home though, because that's work.
Hello.
Keep that straight. It is work.
Yes.
And, and it doesn't end at 8 hours. So you want this, but then you don't want to give that. Now, the other part of equality is that, and the reason that we want equality is because if we're both working 8 hours and we come back home, why should I have to cook? Why should I have to cook all the time?
Right.
Why should I cook and clean? Why should I have to take care of all the homework? What, like equality is really looking out for the benefits of both parties.
Yes.
So your well-being, Onita, now Victor, he is out of town working, so
Mhm.
a lot more has to happen with you because there's just not it's but soon, fortunately and unfortunately for us,
Yes.
I guess it doesn't really impact me because I don't really live near you anyway, but but for those who do, it's very sad that you'll be moving to, South Dakota.
Mhm.
But so then it's back to being in the home, working out, all of those things. But if we're both doing it and now you're just like, no, but you have to be responsible for all of that. That is actually not equality.
Nope.
It's unbalanced. We don't have equal responsibilities and equal sharing in building up the home and taking care of our kids, and then add the submission part to it, because most women aren't uncomfortable submitting to a man who loves like Christ loved, and who is considerate and wants the best for the family, not just for
Right.
themselves. But you want me to submit, which is fine, but then it doesn't, like, my opinion doesn't matter. See, when we're thinking of equality, we're thinking, hey, we're both part of this family. We both do whatever we need to do to build a family, build our dreams, our goals, or whatever. We both have say. Will there come a time when the husband has to say yes when you don't want to say yes? Absolutely. Or no when you don't want to? Absolutely. But it's not because he ain't asked my opinion. It's not
Right.
because he did, so we got to think about equality from the perspective of, I want a husband who can communicate and is emotionally available. I don't want you just paying bills. Like, we want to have a healthy communication in family. Jesus said, I submit to my Father, but he was not unequal with his Father. The Bible
Right.
tells us that. The Holy Spirit, demonstrated Christ, but he was not unequal with Christ. And so that is the three parts in the household of a husband, wife, and God that is really what is the ideal and what God wants us to have. So that's my perspective on equality and complementary. There has to be balance, and it has to protect one another, because
Yes.
women are dying from the weight of all of the things that they're being asked to do and being criticized for not doing when they're carrying the same weight outside the home that you are.
Yep.
So those are my thoughts.
Ooh, ooh, that was so good. But and very, oh my gosh, so many points there. I was gonna say, and then men get mad when they get with a woman who's been used to doing all the stuff, and they're like, oh, she's hard, or she's masculine. She's had to do all the stuff. She didn't have
Mhm.
equality. She's had to wear both hats. She's working all day and cooking all the food, and she's at the PTA meeting. She's at the doctor's appointments. She's also having to take the trash out, and she's at the mechanic negotiating, disputing. Hey, I just came for oil change. No, I don't need my carburetor fixed. Change
Mhm.
my oil. And let
Yes.
change my oil and let me get up out of here. And then
Right.
even and it's unfortunate because even when she gets into church, a lot of times she's overlooked or she's told, no, you can't be on
Mhm.
the pulpit. You can just go over here and work in Cradle Roll Sabbath School, like do the women's stuff or be in the kitchen warming
Mhm.
up the food. You can't have it. So that equality spot, that it's a on both sides of it, it can be a double edge if the man feels like again he's always providing and you're always spending. That's not complimentary to why he is providing and working so hard. He needs a partner too that's gonna help save and manage the finances while he's away from home doing what he needs to do.
Mhm.
But I think it's like you said, it's so crucial that you complement each other in the fact that one, you remembering in the relationship we're both serving each other.
Right.
No person is coming here to get everything. They're only getting served, and the other one's just
Yes.
sitting there and just taking, taking,
Yes.
taking. No, that's the wrong expectation with to coming into the relationship. And I think a lot of this also gets messed up just because of we live in a world that love has been made to be transactional. Um,
Mhm.
and it's
Yeah.
unfortunate. And again, but it's not the way that the Bible prescribes or describes it.
Absolutely not.
So,
I love that. I love that. It is not, and I think that's. I'm just gonna say one thing that is a very important point. That when we come with a spirit of service, both people, and you can see that when someone's dating. If they're not
mhm.
serving you when they're dating, they for sure ain't getting ready to serve you when you get married. Come on, y'all.
Okay.
If they're not in a service mindset, and that is really the essence of how you have a happy marriage. And I mean, obviously, with Christ at the center of that. But if you come with what can I get? What am I supposed to get? And me, this is when we have a problem with that.
Mhm.
These roles. Okay, second hot topic. It kind of fits a little. It fits with that. That's why we kind of did it in a certain order. Men,
Yes.
okay. Are men valued for who they are or what they produce? Do women unintentionally reduce men to their earning potential? So the men said men are judged by what they provide. The complaint: many men feel women are loved for who they are. Women are loved for who they are. Men are loved for what they produce. And so the questions men ask is, what happens if I lose my job? What happens if I can't provide at the same level? Am I still valuable? So do women unintentionally reduce men to their earning potential? What say ye?
Woo, cha. Woo. First of all, I appreciate the men sharing their concerns because a lot of times you don't know what they're thinking or feeling.
Yeah, yeah.
I can say that there could be a good amount of women that do
Mm-hmm.
reduce them to that. Specifically, if part of their whole choosing this man process was by because he made six figures or what he made. If that
Mm.
was a big part of their choosing, process, then of course they're reducing them to that because they're securing the bag.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he didn't look that cute, but he makes six figures. So that was part of their choosing process, then yeah. But I would say a lot of women I know, I would say no, that's not the case.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, a big part of the frustration is that the man, makes providing more of a priority than he does anything else.
Mm.
That they feel that because they are providing, and especially when I was growing up, men, they made the money, they brought the check home, they provided. So a lot of times you weren't getting the I love yous and the romance, the romantic stuff because say I'm paying the bills. And I
Mm-hmm.
can say even if they're doing that now, I see where a lot of men are more so working hard, they're striving, they're providing, And so they're not able to make it to Timmy's softball practice. But you got it, as long as I'm paying the bills, again, in
Mm-hmm.
that complimentary aspect,
Absolutely.
the woman is still having to carry a lot more of that because he's so busy providing. That's something I'm seeing a lot more. And I remember Dr. Myron Emmons even posing a question on his page one time with this specific topic about men providing, but the point he was making was men, don't minimize yourself to that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
men, don't what we like to say, men are the provider, the priest of the home, and the protector. But he's like, God is our provider, Jehovah Jireh. He provides. He opened that door for you. So you ain't really providing. God opened the door. You're working. And so having a balance to where that's not just their main
Right.
focus.
Right.
Because a
Like
lot of
if
times,
you stop, God is going to stop. Like
right,
if you just work 8 hours and then you go home to your family, like God is not going to provide still.
right.
No, he is.
He's still providing. He's having a balance. If your wife is breaking up an issue she has, don't throw back in her, but I paid the bills. No, that's over there. Because if y'all were together or not, would you still work? Would you still work to pay your bills?
Right. Would you still have somewhere to live? Would you still need food? Would you still all that things?
All those things. So address hear her heart, man, hear her concerns. Don't come at her about what you're providing and paying for. Again, that falls back into that transactional love thing where, we get it wrong to where I'm doing all these things, but you would do that if you were single, bruh. You would do that if you were single because you still got to eat, live, and sleep somewhere. And so I feel that more people, I don't see a big majority of women reducing them. I see men making that their thing to
Mm,
where that's a
mm,
big, it's a very important expectation of them. It's a big value. It's high on their value list that they can provide. And then I do understand the concerns, hey, what if I do lose income? Is my value depleted? But here's the thing for women. Women also fear, well, if I gain weight, if I age, or I struggle emotionally, do I lose my value?
mm-hmm.
Because I will tell you, I've heard men say, man, she getting big. Like, have problems with the woman getting bigger. And sir, we done had your kids. Okay. You try having this ail in your body for how many months, making
Mhm.
everything spread go, and then have the audacity to say something. But unfortunately, we live in a world where people are one human and prone to error, but and very superficial. Seeing the size eight
You
that we
jumping into
just
one of our other questions because I'm gonna ask you another question about
oh,
that.
okay, okay. But yeah, I'm sorry about that.
But
But
you're right. But you're right. You're right because, and then hormones, those are real. It's the
yes,
same. You know.
okay. Hormones is a real thing, and we have all these changes of life in women that we go through that they ain't got to deal with. They ain't got to deal with perimenopause and menopause, and all these other things. And these are things
And
that women are
postmenopause.
concerned. Okay, and postmenopause. Now your memory gonna be jacked up. So he talking about an argument from 1998, and you don't even remember it because you even got the cells to remember the argument. But both parties just having to be able to communicate, to be healthy couples, basically be able to communicate the worth though beyond performance. That's the point I wanted to make. The worth has to be beyond performance and beyond what he's doing, what he can provide, and what you're saying, oh, she has to look like this, 36, 24, 36. If you want to be healthy as a couple, then you have to ensure that you're not minimizing each other to your roles and what you can perform, how you're able to perform but who you are and who you are just as you are and how you show up for one
Hmm.
another. That's the priority, not how I can perform.
Right. And I think that, when you started off, you said, yeah, there are women who do judge you based on that, and that's true. There are a lot of women who judge, men based on what they can provide and how much they
Mhm.
make and all of those things. You should make money, like, because we need that in order to live.
Mhm.
And um, I'm not mad if you make a lot of it, but are you mad? I'm not mad. Ain't
Not mad
nobody
about
mad. but
it.
but I also think that, and because it is very true. There are women who will not date someone who doesn't make a certain amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
Point blank, period. However, that is not all women, because I've seen a lot of women who marry men who make less than them by
Yep.
a significant amount, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And um and I feel like I'm gonna bleed over into that other question too, because maybe they're tied together. Maybe we just, but sometimes you all go after women who
Okay.
who have that mindset because they also have some other things that you may want, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and that may be out of your league. And so you're dating women who carry themselves a certain way, make a certain amount of money, dress and look a certain way because they are looking for men who can support that lifestyle.
Yeah.
And you're not that man, but you try to go after that woman, therefore ignoring the women who may not have that restriction as far as the money, but they also don't have this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we should might as well jump down to that next question and tie it in here because
Yeah.
it feels like we're trying to avoid. And so what happens if you lose a job and you're married to a woman who loves you for you? Then she steps up, y'all
Yes.
stay together, you seek God, you help each other, she works, whatever, you are supportive of each other. And you hopefully had a plan, saving and all that to help to kind of bridge the gap. But besides the provision part, or let's just say men feel constantly evaluated. It's funny that they said just the provision, but then they also said this: height, got to be 6 feet, blah, blah, blah. Confidence, they got to come, step in the room with confidence. Women don't like women uncount. Ambition, social skills, fitness. While they say that they are told not to evaluate women on appearance. Now, come on.
Oh
Come
yeah.
on. Now, I'm not suggesting that this isn't true either, that men
Mm-hmm.
are judged on. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. It's not always like we said income, height. I don't really, I prefer that you not be shorter than me, but that's
Yeah.
not really a high bar. Like,
Yeah.
I'm 5'5". Like, you don't, like, if you can manage that, then we cool. But if you're tall, great. If you're not, I've dated different, like, I don't, it doesn't even really occur to me. Now, if you were shorter than me, that might be a little bit, I'm not saying absolutely no. I'm just saying it may not be my first, like, oh, I want someone shorter than me. Come on.
Yes. Yes.
Woman wants that. Um, you know, but, and for us, there's a real, I think for me, and probably women who aren't like stuck on this 6 foot thing, because I'm just
Yeah.
like, I really want to be breaking my neck looking up. That feels like
Right.
really want to. It feels nice to be not near a tall guy because it feels as if they can protect you more. And, like, there's something that is attractive to having just any man that's even taller than you, because it
Mm-hmm.
feels like they can protect you. But there are a lot of short guys who can go to work if they really need to protect you. They're like, we don't got to be tall. We close to the ground and we can go to work if we need to. Not
Yeah.
promoting fighting, but I'm just saying. But a lot of that height thing is really just about, for me, or regular women, I think there's a sense of protection that comes from a guy that's just bigger than you, but it's really a false sense of protection.
Mm-hmm.
Confidence, ambition, social skills, fitness. But they're told not to evaluate women on appearance. I have not ever met a man who doesn't evaluate women on appearance. So, like,
Okay. They the one that came up with the number score. She's a 9. She's a 10. Not us.
so what that means to different men is different, but they're all, and hello, I feel like this might sound controversial, but don't you feel like they should? Because I want to be attracted to you. Now, I'm not going to be, oh, he's a 5 or 6 or whatever. That's not really my thing. But you want to be attracted to the person that you're dating, and certainly the person that you marry, because Lord help us, don't do that. Don't be
Right.
yeah, that doesn't work. But we get a lot of, she has to be this, or and I can't, and I'm not, and whatever. And
Hmm.
I see more women dating men who may not be, um
Okay. Go to the
what
beach.
what would
Go.
be what would be traditionally considered handsome
Right.
or tall or rich or whatever, or any of those things. And
Hmm.
I see the opposite. What say you?
Oh no, I totally agree. I mean, that's why I say go to the beach. I'd be like, she with him? She with him? Oh, she with him. Woman, we.
You already started talking about some of this stuff, so you can go. I kind of stopped you, but you might as well.
Yeah, we're on the next. What are we on, the word I can't pronounce? Are we on that question?
No, no, no. We're on men feel constantly evaluated by, they're judged on income, height, confidence, ambition, social skills, fitness. I didn't know if you had any more to say about that. So, are there double standards in what men and women are allowed to want?
Oh, I mean, of course, a little bit. But I mean, just because they, again, like we kind of already hit the nail on the head about what they're looking for and desiring, um, in general on the outside, and for the woman, and you talked about that too, about the confidence and security and leadership. And can he plan? But the double standard. I'm sorry, I'm still looking at the question. Did you move? Did you put it up here? It says, "Are men valued for
No,
who
I
they
didn't.
are or what they produce?"
I didn't. I didn't put it up
Okay,
there.
okay. That's why I started answering that. I'm sorry, but yeah, I think just in the society in general, I mean,
Allowed.
you think it'd be like Burger King. I want to buy way right away, like Burger King now. But the reality is, the standard. We all, people come in with their own expectations of what they're desiring, and it's, are you the person? Are you developing the qualities that you wanted that person? I mean, would you be the person you're looking for? Are you like the person that you're looking for?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was talking to a friend one time, and she was talking about wanting this guy with a six pack, and she and I were over here struggling. We were struggling just to walk our 2 miles, and I'm like, "Hey, sis, you want this brother with a six pack? He gonna
Yeah.
want a sister, maybe not a six pack, but he gonna want her to be able to walk these 2 miles without needing oxygen at the end." And you know what I'm saying? Like, so are you developing the character? Like, do you have the qualities
Yeah.
and what you're looking for? Are you being realistic? Because
Mm-hmm.
I believe, yeah, people can't have a double standard as far as they're expecting all tens from this person, but you're showing up at all fives or sixes. Then you got to change it up, or you either got to be realistic about who you are becoming, and what you really want in this person.
Mm-hmm.
um, what you're out there looking for. We've talked about this too, even with finances. You wanted him to make six figure and be able to pay everything, but you're over here not either not working at all, or you're just spending it every time you get it. It's a double standard to want him to make all this money, to pay for
Mm-hmm.
everything, but you're unwilling to be a good steward with the money you already making. No, you're coming to the table. Don't. So are you developing that character? Are you that person that you're out there looking for?
No, I like that. I love
And I
it.
think,
I love it.
yeah, and I think that's the issue with the standards, that people sometimes are wanting and requiring from others, but they're unwilling to do themselves.
Okay, you froze right there.
Can
I
you hear
was.
me? I think I may have froze for a second. Yeah.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you said some
Okay.
people are out here. And you started to say that.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. Just basically expecting from people, or desiring all of these qualities. They got this full list in a person, but they're unwilling to be that themselves. And so you have to. That's a double standard. You
yeah,
have to be real about who you are. And I'm a big proponent of change. I've done a lot of change myself. But if this is what you're wanting, trying to, I lost connection. Can you see me?
yes. Now.
Okay. And if that's what you're also trying to attract, then you need to be putting that out there. You need to be that
Yes.
person that you're trying to also attract.
Yeah. I love that. And I agree. And I think that that's, we in our community, if you're interested in our praying sisters community, you can click that QR code up at the right, um, or the left. And but in our community, we just did a we did a presentation on standards a few weeks ago, and then this past Sunday we did breakout rooms where people were working on their personal standards. And I think that if you have standards for who you want to be with, then those standards should be similar for yourself. Now where they don't apply, obviously that's different. But we talked about faith, we talked about family and friends, we talked about fitness and finance. You may have some others things that you want to focus on. We just pick four for now because that's enough, and then put some action steps toward those. But if you want somebody who is healthy, then it's probably a good idea if you do your best to be as healthy as you can be. Now, people come with, different genetic and, conditions that they don't have any control over. But even when you don't have total control over something, you have some control, because that means you can be the healthiest that you can be, even in whatever condition that you might be in.
Hmm.
You want income. It doesn't mean you have to match the income, but like you said, are you guarding the income that you do have? Are you taking care of it, or is it just another chunk of change that you just can go spend out? That's You want somebody with a lot of money that you could just spend. Now, there's nothing wrong with spending money, but you have to have the right priorities in how you do that. You want
Yes.
someone with a higher education, but maybe you and there's nothing wrong with getting your GED, but people who have a graduate degree don't tend to date people who have a GED unless there's some, connection that happens. And not because the GED is bad, but you tend to run in different circles.
Yeah.
That's really the thing. But however, women who have graduate degrees do date men who have GEDs, versus men, because a lot of times a higher income earning man, he wants to have a wife who can go to the parties and go to the events and be able to trust that she can. It doesn't mean if you have a GED that you can't do that. I'm just saying that they may not see that, and that's the problem, because we're judging on just the thing versus like.
Hmm.
And this is all about judging on a thing versus looking and spending time with a person and finding out who they are, because there are a lot of people with GEDs who are smarter than me.
And they're successful entrepreneurs, making good money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Or even
Yeah.
if they just work on the factory line, if they are faithful to that. And it doesn't mean, like, you can still read a book. Like, there's plenty of smart people who don't, that they just like their job, but
Hmm.
and they do their job, they have the money that they need, and they ain't trying to wear their soul out trying to run a business or whatever. They just happy what they
Hmm.
are.
Hmm.
And for real, I said on the podcast before that my brother was talking about, you got to have somebody with ambition and blah 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 blah. And I said, I don't want somebody who's lazy or who isn't committed to being good at whatever he's doing.
Hmm.
He doesn't have to always be trying to reach the next level. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Because with that comes sacrifice. Sacrifice of my time with him, sacrifice of his energy into the family, sacrifice of his peace often, sacrifice
Yes.
of his body and his health. Like, there are some sacrifices that sometimes we have to make, that we make when we're trying to climb the ladder all the time. There's
Hmm.
always a ladder that we got to climb. It's like, I climb this ladder, now I got to climb the next ladder. You got to come down this ladder. It's like, it's okay for me if you just like are happy with your job. You make a good income. You take like that. I'm good, because I already got the stress of trying to build stuff. Let's build it together. So
Amen.
now it's your favorite one: hypergamy. Y'all heard of this? Let me know in the chat. Have you all heard of this?
This is new to me.
The complaint: some men argue women naturally seek the highest status man available and are reluctant to date across or down.
Mm,
Examples: preference for higher income, higher education, social status, confidence, and leadership. Now,
mm.
extreme version claims women exploit nice guys for attention while pursuing only elite men romantically.
Ooh.
So, is this true? Is hypergamy a real tendency or an oversimplification? Do men also prefer the most attractive women available? Are both sexes just trying to secure the best partner they can attract? What say you?
Woo. I I feel like, and even since the Bible days, men has always had the choice of the litter. It's just even like in church or if you're in friend groups, you always see there's way always more women than there are men. And I don't have my statistics with me, but even statistically right now, especially certain generations, that 35 and under, a lot of them still are not, popping the question
Mm,
or because they're FOMO. They are fear of missing out. They're trying to make sure that there's not somebody more prettier, got it more
mhm,
together than the one they're with. They're
yeah.
still holding out for that maybe more attractive one. This
Mhm,
one's an 8.5. She's loyal. She's hardworking. Your family like her, all these good qualities. But some of these jokers are still thinking, I can get a 10 though that also has all that.
mhm.
And so I do
And
believe,
still holding on to the one, not letting
right,
her go,
not letting her
holding on
go
to the one just in case.
just in case, holding on to her. Unfortunately, some of them are doing marital things in the process, and she in her mind is thinking any day now he's gonna pop the question, but he's over here still thinking I can have somebody just as good as her, but it's also a 10 because
Mhm,
their ego says I need to be able to walk by and people go, man,
mhm.
he got her. He got her. He got him a
He's the
bad.
man.
Right. He's the man because unfortunately that's what some people think. It's I mean it's a real tendency to oversimplification. You've seen sometimes they even had sayings where they'd be like, "Nice guys finish last."
Mhm.
So there is a thing of that, but I find that I seem like nowadays there's less and less nice guys,
Mm,
because many men have their choice, have the pick of the litter, and not many women are dating and holding their standards up. They're accepting a lot of crap from them, and so as these men continue to go on, they become less and less good men. And so, but
mm.
they keep going around and they keep having all these choices in different women. And so this hamster wheel, this cycle keeps continuing where, you know, they're not as nice anymore. And I
Yeah.
mean, from a lot of women I know, if a nice guy was trying to really pursue them, because that's the other thing, maybe the nice guys maybe they're not pursuing because they are thinking the girl's out of my league. If
Yeah.
you're a nice guy and you're watching, pursue the girl, okay?
Pursue the girl.
Pursue her. She's waiting for you to pursue her because nine times out of 10, she's getting knuckleheads hit on her and she's looking for the nice guy. She
Mhm.
wants to settle down with the nice guy. Maybe your outfit ain't that great. That can be changed, okay? Your hair, somebody, all that stuff can be changed. But if you
All
are
that.
genuinely, nice guy and you pursue this lady, you got her. And so I haven't seen it as often, but I know it's a thing. This is what we have sayings like nice guys finish last because I do know it's a thing. I just feel like in the society we're in now, I don't think that it's a leading cause for why women aren't choosing them. Uh, I
Uh-huh.
I just think they're not out there really pursuing them. Um,
No, that's good. That's
and
good.
and so that's the problem, for women who are waiting for the nice guy. They're not pursuing them, or they're taken. They're taken.
You're taking. So I agree with that. I think that yes, there are women who are not looking for you. I mean, there just are. There are women who are not looking for you. If you
Yeah,
don't
they
have a
want
certain income, if you don't have a certain education, if you don't have a social status, If when you walk into the room, all the people aren't like, hey, what's the names here? Blah, 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 blah. When y'all go out, she's not interested in you. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
that is true. Is that the majority of women? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't got no stats on this. I just know a lot of single women, and ain't none of them like that. And maybe
Mm-hmm.
there's a different perspective for women in the church. I don't know. But I think that um if you can I just keep it a stat?
Yes.
If I went into a room and there were two guys who talked to me, and one was higher income and one was lower income. I just don't know. And they like everything else was being equal. Now, obviously, this is a fake thing because everything else is never equal.
Yeah.
You like someone more, you're more attracted, whatever. But let's just say everything's equal. And there's a higher income guy and a lower income guy. I'm gonna pick the higher income guy to go out with. Like I just am. you know,
Mm-hmm.
because of provision and all of those things and whatever my financial things are, whatever's going on with me, everything being equal. But if everything's not equal, and brother over here is got a lot of money and he's a jerk, I'm going with the person that has the character. And that's what
Yes.
if everything's equal, then the character, all of that. Now,
Yeah.
obviously, this situation will never really occur, and unless you're in a Hallmark movie or whatever, and 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 there are rich guys with fantastic character who have higher education and social status who are wonderful
Mm-hmm.
people. There are men who have lower income and lower education who don't have a lot of social status, but they're wonderful people. They're confident, they're great leaders. Is who that person is ultimately is why I'm choosing
Yes.
and wanting to be chosen. But I also think that it's that we're attracted to what we're attracted to,
Yeah.
and we make decisions. Some of us make decisions based on character and good things, and then there's some um I call them minors. Like on my list that I read here,
Yes.
there are majors, there's minors, and there are incidentals.
Mm-hmm.
Incidentals are great to have, but if he doesn't have that, I'm not going to be like, sorry bro, you have all of the majors, but I'm out of here because you don't
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Um, have nice calves. Like this is very, I really care about that. But but I like a good, nice calf. But I'm not gonna totally write somebody off just because of that when they have this character. So
Yeah.
I think that when the part of the issue with this, Onita, is that when you say all, you already lost the argument.
Yeah.
There aren't all men who do anything, and there aren't all women who do anything except have XY chromosomes and XX chromosome. And even that's not true. There's some people that have three, so it's
Yeah.
like when you start saying that all women think like this or do this, it's why you have a red pill community and why you have the whatever the pink pills. I don't know if the pink pills are the exact opposite, but whatever the negative version of the red pill is, like when you say all men do this or say this or think this or whatever, you really you hamstring yourself,
Yeah.
because you create a perspective that is not accurate, and then you don't allow yourself to actually meet real people and learn about real people.
Ooh, that is so true. Oof.
uh, all right, thank you, Christine. Okay, here's our final one. We're doing good on time.
Yeah.
um let me pull it up. uh Social media has inflated expectations. The complaint: men believe social media exposes women to wealthy lifestyles, celebrity relationships, luxury experiences, creating expectations that average men cannot realistically meet.
Mm.
The question is, are people comparing potential spouses to real humans or curated online personas?
Yeah, people are. Yes, people are out there just believing all the curations. Okay, all of it. Okay,
Mhm.
like real talk. People at home, they just got in an argument, but she posted a picture of them eating out here, and everything looks right. Unfortunately, because we're in this perfection deception society where I can go and put on a filter. I can make it look like I got makeup on, my lashes are done, I can make my face slimmer, all these things. And unfortunately, people get caught up in that and they do get into comparison. This is why anxiety and depression grew in such large numbers during the pandemic because people were home more, online more, and specifically the number I'm talking about was dealing with adolescents. It grew like 239%. But
Mm.
because a lot of them were at home more, watching everybody have such a great life and look so good. And the same thing for adults. I don't know the statistic, but everybody's seeing all that and they're comparing to what he's doing. Like I said, I don't know if I've ever mentioned the word Dubai, right? But then you see all these other couples going to Dubai, and then all of a sudden you're like, "Babe, you want to take me to Dubai?" Would you had ever had you would you had ever desired to go there? Like
Mhm.
when you were a kid, there's places I knew I wanted to go to Disney World. I knew I one day wanted to go to the Serengeti in Africa. I've never said that, but if I get caught up in watching what everybody else is doing, I
Yeah.
gotta go to Dubai and I gotta get on the camels and I gotta go to the sand dunes. And people think this is what the it couple is doing, so this is what
Yeah.
I gotta do.
Mhm.
And they get caught up in that. And also, unfortunately, get caught up in a lot of debt trying to live like the Joneses. And the Joneses are in a lot of debt because they trying to live like the Smiths. Yeah, Lane. Be real about who you are, what your pocketbook is, and about what you really want in life, what really makes you happy. And I believe social media, men believe that men, it is happening with men and women. Maybe they're saying we're on there more, but I could say men are on there expecting every woman to have this perfect 10 body because, unfortunately, your algorithm, whatever picture you like on, you're going to start getting more of those
Yeah.
pictures.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what's going to be more in your feed. And so they're out there looking for that, thinking that that's what all the women are going to look like. And that's not reality, brother. Gravity is real. Aging is real. Okay,
18 is
so unless
real.
she's able to go get a BBL often, every couple of years and get things tucked here and lifted, gravity is going to settle in. So fix your mind for what you're really getting into. But I believe people are definitely out there comparing potential spouses. This is again why we have people in relationships not popping the question and not really locking down
Mhm.
on, okay, this is my person. Because now I am seeing weddings happening, so there are some people out there being committed, but there are a lot of them still playing the field because
Mhm.
they think, oh, I can probably get somebody that's better in this area, and looks better. And it's scary because this comparison, you're saying I rather have the look than the actual value, and that's scary.
Mhm.
Because
It
if
is.
you are going to marry this person, that's for life. And we've talked about it here before in the show. Whatever issues this person has, it's going to amplify in the marriage.
Mhm.
So don't get stuck up on all the great pictures and the photo ops opportunities that they've had. You need to really know what's really there. Like, not just the highlight reels and not just the real wives influencers, because even they have bad days. They're not putting them on there when they're
Mhm.
crying and when the dog is pooped on the floor and the kid is sick and the bills are due. They ain't putting all that stuff on there. So stop comparing these people highlight reels to what your real life is going to be, and really
Mhm.
evaluate your potential spouse based on reality and their character, not on entertainment and what you see.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. I think you pretty much covered it all. I do think that if you're going to be online, then maybe you should be looking at some podcasts where people talk about what marriage really is like, and instead of wasting it looking at what other people's lives are like.
Hmm.
And comparison is the thief of joy. And you could be in a perfectly wonderful relationship heading toward marriage, and then you see all of these other things and think, oh well, I can't have that with this person necessarily right now. Then and then you throw away something good,
Hmm.
which just made me think about the fact that too often the life that you're looking at, even if it's real, they probably didn't have it in year one.
Oh, definitely.
Your
Yeah. Yeah.
parents, your parent now, people are getting old, married older now, so a lot of times they are more stable and can do more of those things. But your parents didn't start where they have landed. You
Hmm.
know, they didn't have that house when they got married. And
Yeah.
and part of this is not even just social media. Social media is just exposing us to this idea of the American dream, particularly looks like this. But guess what? The American dream can look like having an apartment that y'all can afford and saving money in order to get the house that you next house, and then save, and then sell that to get the next house and the next house,
Hmm.
as opposed to trying to buy the 5 bedroom, 4 bathroom, pool, all of these things on when you for after you say I do 20 minutes ago. It's like you don't need to do that. So
Yeah.
even if this is something that you all can, that's what you want, somebody who can, y'all can work together to get to the dreams that you have. Not
Yes.
someone that you just drop into the house and suddenly y'all can go to Dubai, or you can go to the Serengeti, or you can go. It's like, no, we started with just our little paychecks paying for the rent and the light bill, and that kind, and then we grew as a couple. And now when you go to Dubai, you've realized, or wherever it is that you want to go,
Yeah.
you can realize a dream that you all dreamed together,
Yes.
and that you planned together, and that you worked for together and saved together. And now that means so much more than I come with all my stuff and you come with all your stuff. And if you don't have enough stuff, then I want to find someone who has more stuff. No.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that at my age, you don't necessarily want to start at the beginning, but what if you just at the beginning start, find someone who has the character that you can live with for 40 years and just start. So
That's good.
so we asked the question at the beginning, are modern men and women expecting different relationship contracts? And those are colliding because I think that we're not really addressing the deeper issue, and that is a woman may want traditional provision, emotional intelligence, spiritual leadership, shared housework, equal partnership. A man may want respect, feminine energy, loyalty, support, partnership, shared financial responsibility. And I think that we can realistically combine the best parts of traditional relationships and modern relationships, but only if we accept the responsibilities that come with both. And so you want a wife who comes home, who works, and then she comes home and she can throw down in the kitchen. Fantastic. Can you clean up after she's finished throwing down in the kitchen? That's a simple request of
Yeah.
shared responsibility. She, because y'all still have to eat. So if this is what she loves to do, and or just even if it's her, if even if it's her role, like she's what she wants to feed her man, can you clean up? Because she also came home from work and did this. Like
Yes.
on Sunday, can we share the housework? Like if you got to clean on, if some people do that, clean on some night, some people just clean, keep it clean. But can we share the homework? Can you do homework while I'm cooking dinner? Or maybe he cooks dinner because maybe that's what he likes to do and he's better at. Can you, like,
Yes.
can we can be in partnership, because when we are in partnership, then I can stay in my feminine energy,
Yes.
you know, and I can submit to your spiritual leadership, and you get to be the spiritual leader, because I look at and I respect you because you see me. And so, yeah, I do believe we can have this, and I feel like the the best is what God intended for us, and we have created a lot of the problems and the drama that keep us separated from the men and from the women, from each other.
Hmm.
So thank you for this conversation. I really appreciate. Let me take that off. Um, Thank you all for joining us. Um, at the end of the day, healthy relationships aren't built on finding someone who meets every expectation. That's never going to happen. The only person that happened for was Adam and Eve, because there was no sin. And then after there was sin, it stopped happening for them too. You know what I'm saying? But a healthy relationship built on two people who are willing to communicate, compromise, and carry responsibility together. It's not all on him, it's not all on her. When expectations collide, the goal isn't winning the argument, it's understanding each other well enough to build something that works. Because naturally, you're going to come to the relationship with expectations. Like when people say don't have them, it's just not really possible. We have expectations. We know, we've imagined what our life will look like with our husband or with our wife. But if we don't communicate those, that's when we start to have problems, and we can see where a compromise works, where we actually are on the same page, and we can build something that actually does work. The question isn't just what you want from a relationship, it's what are you willing to contribute to one. Please drop your comments, your thoughts in the comments. And if this conversation has helped you, challenged you, or made you think a little differently, make sure you like, subscribe, and share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. You don't need another rescue plan. You need to apply wisdom that you receive so that you can not fall off the cliff relationally, that you cannot be in the ditch all of the time and someone having to pull you out. So, until next time, make choices that will help you live, love, and marry wiser. God bless.